taking Yoda.
Yoda. Okay. I don't even know what to say about that. For anybody that hasn't seen my Yoda post, just for the record, I was not the one that posted that, and I was not the one that created it.
But it is absolutely so fitting anyways, because you really truly are the Yoda of franchising.
Well, thank you. But anyway, I just think it was, and it was your idea. Awesome, Gobi. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm not sure what to say about that. I thought that I might, all day yesterday, I was like so embarrassed, and it's still there. So I'm still embarrassed today, but anyway, thank you. I think, you got me some good exposure, but I'm a little bit feeling awkward about it. But anyway, speaking of, interesting things, loving that Christmas shirt you got going on.
Christmas shirt, right?
Yeah, there you go. Is it fleecy or flannelly or?
It is like silk bedroom wear.
Okay. I remember, if I remember correctly, you normally have a Christmas party where you like write a poem for everybody and all this, and I guess you can't do that this year.
Yeah, I usually pull together probably about 80 of my closest friends into like a private room at a restaurant, and we all, have dinner together, and I take the 'Twas a Night Before Christmas and rewrite it to reference things that have been going on in each person's life. But this year we cannot do it because of all the different restrictions and closures that we're facing. So I have decided to engage in Christmas apparel.
Well, you know what? It's good. Like on Zoom, when you show up and people see that, it's actually probably like even going to be more impactful. So good on you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Yoda.
By the way, yeah, Yoda. All right. Well, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Or sort of a topic to discuss here. So a common dilemma for franchisors at all stages for different things they need is whether to outsource or bring in-house. And of course, we all know that the further along you go, the more likely people are to bring in-house because they can afford it and it makes more sense from a economic standpoint. But you are a big believer in bringing things in-house earlier than most people I know. And there's others in my network that have done this too. And I think it's interesting because when you bring somebody in-house, you take on that responsibility, and you potentially, you're hiring somebody, dealing with all that. So let's just chat a little bit about some of the things the reasons that you believe in that. So let's just do a hypothetical example, almost like a case study where let's talk about marketing, your favorite topic, one of them, besides economic moats. But say somebody's trying to figure out, should I hire out somebody to do my marketing as a franchisor, like friend of marketing or whatever, or should I bring on a marketing person? I'm early stage. I've only got one franchisee and I don't have a lot of money because I'm bootstrapping, because no one told me that it was going to cost me like $1 million to franchise. And so what do I do, Robert? What do you tell people?
Well, listen, I think the first thing I want to say is that oftentimes the dilemma, whether bringing something in-house or not, depends on what your perceived longevity of it is. So for us, for example, we couldn't really find a great POS system out there that would suit the specific, intricacies that we need with the different components of the VR arcade. We tried many. It's not that ours is better. It's just ours solved a problem that the other ones couldn't. And that's why we brought it in. But you have to think about the longevity of that department. Okay, so we build our POS system. Now I've got a bunch of internal developers. Is there going to be work for them going forward? Well, being a tech company or having core values that revolve around being progressive and technological, there's always something you can find. You develop an app, you support these different things, et cetera, and it gives a competitive advantage. But when you're talking about something that's a lot more static, like marketing, everyone always needs marketing. There's this phrase out there that says that the man who doesn't market to save money is like the man who doesn't wear a watch to save time. You need it. It's kind of the similar question is, what are the pros and cons? There's a lot of marketing agencies out there, and a lot of them have very similar pitches. So it's very difficult to discern which one's better. And if you spend some money testing one out and another one out, you may only get through 3 out of 100 before your entire budget is blown. So when you consider safety, it may be safer to bring it in-house because it may be more affordable. Oftentimes it is, because there's less sort of red tape between different levels of management and project manager and all that sort of stuff. It makes you a lot more nimble. So if you need something done, you can call up your marketing person and be like, hey, can you quickly switch this campaign and target it towards this person? Yeah, boom, 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 because it's their job and they report to you. Whereas if you're going with a third party, there's probably, maybe we need to adjust the statement of work and we have to clear that past management, and maybe we have to adjust how we're going to bill you now because of all this sort of stuff. So it becomes a longer process. But whether it's marketing or any other type of internalization of a process, you also have the opportunity to build a team which contributes to your culture, and that team, because presumably they've bought into the culture and your mission and core values, they can also relate to what you're trying to do, whether you move fast or slow or whatever it is. They're on board. They understand your business to a deeper degree. That was a lot, right? It's just
yeah. Well, I really wanted to jump in a couple times, but I didn't want to interrupt you, which is unusual for me. I usually just interrupt, but I was like, I'm just going to let him talk.
Okay.
So it's the thing that I hear people saying is like, well, what do I do then to get them, trained up and all that, to get them to a point where they're as expert as those people that would be already trained?
Right. Well, the thing is, you have to hire for compatibility. You hire compatibility and you train competency, or whatever the phrase is there. So if you're bringing in a development person, they have the skills in how to build software. You bring in a marketing person, they have the skills on how to market. What you're training them is your company vision and your core values to put them on the same page. That's what you're training them. If you're worried about bringing on a marketing person and not being a marketing person yourself and worried, how am I going to train them to, then you may be in the wrong mindset. You've got to surround yourself with people that are better and more experienced than yourself, and allocate resources to places where you have a deficiency, like legal or financial or marketing, rather than where you're already an expert. If you're already an expert, double down until you can afford to outsource that to staff or a third party.
Actually, I say that a lot when people ask me what they should outsource and why don't I just have an actual template for the growth of a franchise? And I'm like, well, it's different. Like you might have some really natural skills at something like marketing or whatever, or tech. And so then you don't bring someone and you bring instead somebody to do this other thing that you don't have skills. So it really depends on the franchisor. The other thing is there's coaches out there for everything. So if somebody doesn't have the marketing skill, like they bring on, like, for example, one of my clients, I won't mention names, but she brought someone in for marketing, and I spent some time with her. Not that I'm a marketing expert, but I spent some time with her helping her understand the franchise side of marketing. And when it comes down to it, if necessary, they could find a marketing consultant to help deeper if they need it, or we can bring that in. But there's that, there's always support out there. So find the good people, find the support, and it's an investment then into your longer term. So I think that
don't be afraid.
No, just real quick on the software thing. You guys, you made a really good point about the custom, because it needed to solve a need. For a lot of people, I say there's no perfect software out there, and it's expensive to custom build. So in the early stages, like, you might have to just accept that you're not going to get everything you need, unless, like, you guys had some expertise in that area as well, and developers and people in your network. And so it's a little different for you there, but
believe it or not, we didn't. We hired 2 developers and said, this is what we need. We don't know what to do. Please watch YouTube. And they watched YouTube.
Okay, but you had some skills to be able to do that, even, or some can-do attitude about it, like, whereas some people just be totally afraid. And so my point is, like, it's not a hard and fast answer, but it's something to think about. And I think that's our rant, our quick tip for today.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the countdown.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Let's go, Yoda. Yep.
No, if we're doing Yoda, then it's 1, 2,
3. Go be
awesome.
awesome.
Go be
awesome.